Back again for the day 2 of the Shadow Keep expansion for Destiny 2. Yesterday, if you was watching my video, you checked out my channel. I had a video where I was getting into Destiny 2, and I'm quite sure if you play Destiny 2, you know that the servers were emergency shut down yesterday after the 24-hour maintenance period.
It was really about it was a silver glitch on Steam where people were doing an exploit and getting all the stuff like right when they got on there. So they had to fix that.
So I don't know. Hopefully you can hear my buddy Demise talking, and you heard what he just said. He said that apparently there was some type of silver glitch people were exploiting on Steam, so they had to shut down the servers and get everything going again. So that was kind of disappointing. Like as I stated yesterday, you know, you wanna get on the game. You're excited about the new content, so you want to hop in and you want to be able to play it immediately after you get home from work or whatever the case may be. That was the case for me. In discussing that with people that I know that play the game, as my buddy is in the party with me, Demise, and another buddy that I work with, Grunt Slayer. Both of them are like, you know, this is to be expected with new DLCs, blah blah blah. And I understand that, but when you have a job, you pay your $60 and you anticipating something, and you're on limited time because you got a family and you only got a few hours to play or whatever the case may be in the evening, that's important to people, you know what I'm saying? Like that hour and a half that I missed yesterday is important to me because I have to balance all these things. I had to balance my children, I have to balance work, I had to balance all these things. So for my buddy at work who was saying, oh, you know, it's something to be expected, well, for him personally, he don't have no kids, he don't have no bills to pay. So, you know, paying $60 and, you know, having to wait for, hey, to each his own. But for me, I was disappointed. Now, when we actually got into the game and started playing it, I had a good time. It's fun. But I'm still a little bit disenchanted with the DLC. I won't lie, Demise. I'm a little bit disenchanted because of the fact of the matter, I just feel like they're just giving us what we already had. Like, they took us back to the moon. Okay. They gave us Iris Moon or Morn back. Okay. Like, to me, these are things that should have been here from the jump.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
They're trying to get back on track because, let's be honest, Activision ran the show over there. They told them what to do, how to put it out, when to put it out, and They were never satisfied. I would read the articles and they would publicly say they didn't have enough time, they didn't like the circumstances they had to work under. They were all on Activision's ass. And you know, it was always some type of issue, and I think that the way that they want to deliver us content will satisfy us in the long run. Like, they changed the light level or the power level, however people look at it. I'm old school, so I still say light, but they changed it so that they don't have to do it anymore. It'll level up in such a manner from here on out that it works right. And also the economy, I think they did a good job this time changing the economy. Last time, I think we got shafted. Coming over to D2, I didn't like the economy and the way it worked out because everything started seeming too expensive, especially when you had the masterwork. And since they took out the way that the guns level up, like each perk had to level up based on your use, now you have to, with them giving us the random roles or the curated roles, which is cool, but if it's not curated, it's not really coming masterwork, or it might, you know, I don't know. But you still end up having to spend all those resources. That's the only thing I'm still not happy about.
Is the way that
the way that the economy's set up.
way that the economy set up. All right, so there's that. Like I think for me, the economy is one of my least concerns because, well, coming from D1 to D2, that was a definite concern. But now being going into the third year of D2, I'm I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
I mean, as long as we can earn how we need to earn, and I think that's what they worked on, where we can actually get rewards for doing everything. I think that's better. I noticed a lot more glimmers out there now. Ammo's still like you gotta have a perk. You gotta run the perk to get the ammo, unless you're getting all precision shots. You know, that kind of stuff is normal. But yeah, I think that the level up, the grind to level up to 900 wasn't bad. But I wasn't trying to infuse all the way up either. I just put on the blue guns, blue everything, until I got to the level I wanted to be.
And that was one thing we was discussing yesterday, was the importance of just waiting until you get to 900 to start infusing things that you like, because it will it will pretty much be a waste of your, you know, resources to level it up as you go. You might as well just wait until you get the 900 or whatever the cap may be, and then start leveling up.
That's the soft cap there.
So and for those who don't know,
or the basement cap is 750, might be the soft cap, but I think that the max is 950 right now, or 960 or something. But if you get to 900, you could do almost anything. You know.
Okay. So that's something to keep in mind for people who are playing. Don't sit there and waste your resources on leveling up items until you get up to 900, because it'll just be a better use of your resources at that level. So
and it goes faster. Yeah,
it goes faster. Now, so like you see, I just played a little bit yesterday. I think I only played like the first 2 missions of the Shadow Keep. Because my time was limited and I had to get off, like I said, but I was able to get up to 781 fairly easy. It wasn't hard. Can you see if you see it for me? So 900 grind isn't really that hard. One of my buddies, he ended up beating the story last night, but he played it for 5 hours, I think he said, and he pretty much got through the Shadow Keep DLC. That's not bad. He was not disappointed with the time frame of it. He said that it was actually a really good story. It gives a lot of insight to what may be coming in the future. So there's that. Now, other than that, I just wanted to kind of touch on the whole thing that happened yesterday with the server shutdown we was talking about at the beginning. And it's just, you know, like I said, it's just a disappointing thing. Like having to wait. I think I waited 20 minutes and I couldn't get in the game. Then it started telling me a number of where I was in the queue. So I was like 11,000 in the queue. Then it jumped down to 10,800. Then it jumped back to 11,000. So it was just like a waiting game type of thing. Then when they shut the servers all the way down to fix the problem. So I waited another hour and a half. I started making a beat. Like I turned on the computer, started producing the beat. But when it did come back up, I was able to get back in very quickly. As you can see today, it's loading up quick. I'm not having any issues today, so they got everything together, and I'm happy with that.
Right.
So
I think the response time was amazing. I mean, considering.
And I will give them that. The response time was pretty good.
Roughly an hour and a half, but there were people that did wait like 3 or 4 hours.
Well, and that's the thing too. You know, there was a lot of people. You know, the Shadow Keep DLC came up at 12 noon Eastern time yesterday. I'm quite sure. So you know, it was up for some hours and then it went down. So obviously there was an issue.
They caught that exploit, and then they said it was something else going on as well too. So I just think that on a positive note, the fact that the servers were full yesterday, that means people are playing this game again. I mean, D1 taking 2 Taken King 2, or whatever I'm trying to say, D1 Taken King, you saw a lot of people playing the Dark Below DLC.
Now I will give them that. I do like the fact of the matter that they are bringing new players into the fold. I don't like the fact of the matter that they did it in a manner that makes my Destiny 2 disc not worth anything anymore. Okay, because now it's free to play. So now, when I got my Shadowkeep DLC, they gave me a copy of the digital download. So I'm not going to use the disc. I can pop some other disc in, and I can just use the digital download. I think anybody would go with that, you know. So, but it's just, you know, it's just disappointing that now at this point that disc is irrelevant. Like it no value to it. So there's that.
Yeah, but that's the advent of online gaming with DLC. You know, when we got to remember this, when they say they want to go all digital, when you got people like Google doing Stadia and stuff like that, and people are trying to go all digital, we have to remember this is the disadvantage of it. At least at that point, you know you're not getting a disc, so you don't have to worry about the depreciation. But that also chimes in with the way retail is set up. I mean, all this shit is political. I'm sorry, cursing, but all of this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because people are making money and they're trying to figure out how they can make more money than they've always been making, even though they're making more money than God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it puts the customer at a disadvantage, and the only way we can speak out on it is really just vote with our dollars. If we like it, we buy it. If we don't buy it. They don't make it. You know what I'm saying? They can try to force it all they want to, but if nobody buys it, it's a bust. Yeah, my only concern with the DLC thing is, well, of course not with Destiny, because Destiny is primarily an online game. But other games that have DLC content, sometimes you can't get to it easily if you lose your internet service, and it gets to be a hassle. That's my only problem with DRM, Digital Rights Media. You know, how they lock out the piracy for downloaded stuff.
Okay, now, so with that being said, do you think that the future of games, like, because, you know, Fortnite, we've watched that come along, we've watched the success it has, we see the microtransactions, but it's a free game, so it makes like the microtransactions ain't even a bother, you know what I'm saying, because it's a free game. You didn't pay $60 for a game.
Most of them are cosmetic.
Right, and
the only time people get mad when it's pay to win.
Right. So with the, you know, and then Apex Legends came around, kind of followed the same suit as that, and then we got Destiny. We got Destiny 2 now. It's going free to play for the most part, like, you know, because we're trying to bring more players back into the fold. Right. I understand that. But with all that being said, do you think that the future of gaming is free to play and just microtransactions? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we're gonna give you the game.
Some titles.
For the, you know what I mean?
For titles like this who want to deliver you episodic content, this is probably the best model. I remember having an Xbox 360 in the beginning when they first started talking about smaller games and microtransactions, because they had Xbox Live. So they already had the format for it. So they were leading a discussion on, well, how do you do this? How do you deliver the content over a period of time where people are interested and they still spend money on it, and most of all that the developer continues to make money so they can continue to make the game. Right. And I think this is just an evolution of it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's ever changing, but right now the free to play model, it works for a lot of games because, you know, some of them are cheap. Like, I've played the Star Trek games. They're not bad games, but they move kind of slow and they're kind of clunky, and you know what I'm saying? But for a free-to-play game, it's okay. I mean, the one that people really like is, what's that, Oh man, what's the name of that game?
Not Warcraft.
No. It's the one that's on PS4 where you run around shooting stuff and chopping stuff down, but Warframe.
Okay,
Warframe
yeah.
is an example of an awesome free game. The graphics are magnificent. The story is awesome. The lore is deep. They made a real game and said, here, you guys, take it free. and buy the content. And as I understand how it works, you either buy the content or it's free later on down the road. You just end up being locked out of stuff for a while. I think that's how it works.
Okay.
I think that's because Destiny just went to that model. Now you don't have to buy every update.
Right.
If you don't want it, like if we didn't want Osiris, which we didn't know we didn't want until we played it.
Right.
But if we didn't want Osiris, so to speak, we could have skipped that. But now the new people that come in, they don't have to buy that. They can skip Osiris. They can get Warmind. They can get Forsaken. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The new light got them this content.
So just like to touch on the end, what you said about the free to play, I agree. Like, I think this is a good model. Warframe's been out for quite some time, and like I got a buddy who just discovered that game like less than 6 months ago, and he's like, "Why you guys didn't tell me about this? This game's great. It looks great. It plays great." So, you know what I'm saying?
Says, yeah.
So, you know, I agree. Like a title like this, the free-to-play model can work because, you know, you can get people into the game and it's free, so they don't feel bad and they don't bash you. And then when you give them the episodic content, like this is an episodic content type of game, yeah, free-to-play will work. I don't think it will work for a Call of Duty, just because, I mean, they could work for a Call of Duty, but like traditionally Call of Duty's release and they give you the story that you get on the disc, and then all the DLC content is like multiplayer content and maps and new weapons. You know what I'm saying? So
well, yeah.
it's not like
they're run the free-to-play model, but I think Activision's a little too greedy for that one. They still want to get that 60, 70,
right,
$100 for every copy you're buying.
And then, you know what I'm saying? And then the money that they're gonna get on the back end from all the DLCs and the crap that they're gonna give you over the 2 or 3 span of the year of the game that's you know,
why I
running.
agree with the Christmas sale. I like the Christmas sale because by the time the Christmas sale comes up for most of these games, they've already you're gonna get that content from the time it released to the time it went on sale. They've already packed that in, because that's what happened to us with Battlefield 4. We got Battlefield 4 and we were just opening crates, clink, 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 for hours. Like, we had crates for hours. We just kept opening them.
That is very true.
Yeah, so a lot of times with them kind of games, because I like the Call of Duty. We played the beta, and I'm not a Call of Duty fan, but that felt a lot better than it has in the past, and I enjoyed it. But I'm waiting on the Christmas sale. I'm not spending $100 on it.
Well, I'll get it, because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. For me, I'm gonna get it. The reason why I'm gonna get it is because of the cross-play, and I just think that could make some great videos.
So when you say cross-play, it's not cross-play in the sense of Destiny. You mean cross-play as in the sense of console versus PC, or? Oh,
you'll be able. So the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare that's releasing, you're supposed to be able to play any system. So like, we can play buddies on Xbox. We can play buddies who got it on PC. We can play buddies who.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. I was just saying we can.
Yeah, that's true crossplay, right?
Yeah, that's true crossplay. So, the only other game that I know that even tried the crossplay was Street Fighter V, which, if you a fan of Street Fighter or just gaming in general, you probably know that Street Fighter V had one of the worst releases, I think, in video game history. Honestly, especially in the history of.
You want to count Fallout? You got to count the Fallout.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But in the history of like online gaming, Street Fighter V had a embarrassing drop for sure.
Well, Japan, they still don't quite get it, because you got to understand, over there, everything in Japan and Korea is ran in such, like it should be here. They have fast internet. It's super fast. They don't pay as much as we do, but they get 3-4 times as much. And that's just the way the country's wired, but it's a small country. So they can make a game that works great on that network, but when they bring it over to this side,
Right.
I agree with you. I blame America or whoever who did the backbone work, for the servers and stuff. It's on them.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure if we were in Japan, that stuff runs like butter.
Right. So, okay. So we got like 20 minutes in this video. These last 10 minutes, I don't know what you're doing, Demise, but I'm just gonna kind of run the people through some of the menus. If you're not in game, kind of follow along with me in your menus, and anything that I miss, just dialogue with me about it. So, one of the new things they got in the menus, and I was showing people this yesterday, but that was a 2-hour video, and this is only gonna be 30 minutes. So, the quest tab has replaced, I'm sorry, what was it called before? What was they calling this? The pursuits tab. So the quest tab has now replaced the pursuits tab, and as you can see, you got all your quests listed here. You can go from page to page to see what other quests you may have, and you also have a bounties tab. So it separates all this stuff, and you don't get confused as much as you did before.
One more thing you got to know about this left to right thing when you're looking at your quests. You have to have the circle over the little set of menus, or it won't go. Like if you put it at the bottom of the screen, you can't push left and right on the D-pad to funnel through your quest. You have to have a little circle over it.
On the on the arrow, you have to have the circle. Yeah, the cursor.
You gotta have the cursor at least in that box of quests that you're looking at. Other than that, it doesn't move.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so if I got my circle over here and I press left or right on the stick, nothing happens. But as long as I'm here, it's gonna go through there, and that's probably the same thing for here. Well, this doesn't even go. This just kind of.
Nah.
Okay, I see what you're
saying.
And
I think this might be a right stick situation when it fills up.
Okay.
Or
the bounties
it may
tab.
just only fill. Yeah, it may only fill to that bottom part, so you never have to worry about scrolling.
Well, it actually
1 out of 17.
Yeah, and this says
it only goes to this.
Right. So yeah. All right. So that's good information to know that you need to have your cursor over the box
because it
that
can
you
be
manipulate.
frustrating. And you can also just highlight the arrow and click X and move it like that too.
Right. So another change that they made is they brought the store into this menu also. There's a store tab, and all the stuff is here, so you don't have to worry about visiting Eververse or all that. I know most people who play the game a lot, and they know all this stuff off the bat, but just to refresh people, this is another change that they have made. So the store is now in your touchpad menu, and the quest is the replacement for your pursuits tab, and a new tab also down at the end. You got this seasons tab. So as you go through the season and you progress, you get these different little unlocks.
Unlocks.
And
listen,
it's just gonna progress as you go. Go ahead, Demise. What you got to say?
Free people, new light people get the top tier. People who pay get the top and bottom tier. Just so people know.
Okay, so there you have that, and that is something that I would have forgot to touch on. But free to play gets just the top tier, and the people who paid get all of this here. So, and I guess that would be because you're getting the content for the or you're getting the stuff for the new content. People that are free to play, they're not getting this Shadow Keep. They're gonna have to. Right. You had to pay.
And they gotta buy all that if they want it.
Right. So, in order to get both.
Here's a criticism.
Go ahead.
Here's a criticism, my guy, and I don't know if it's a criticism yet because I haven't seen them. So we all know about Zer and where is Zer and all that stuff. Now, it's beautiful that they put the store in the tab, in the touchpad menu, but why couldn't they put all of the vendors in there, or at least just Zer? I would settle with Zer. So I could, if he's in town, I don't have to go looking for him. I can open this and say, all right, Zer, let me buy your stuff. And then that's it.
And the reason why they didn't do that probably is because, the whole thing of Zer is finding where he's at. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
I mean, I understand it. I would rather I could live more with finding Zer on the weekends and stuff, then I'd rather have all the vendors in here, so I don't have to go run all them down, and then I can go run
Right.
him down. I'd rather that.
And I know they want you to go to the planets because you
But
might
and
get
that's what I was gonna
wolves, you
say.
might have
That's
some, you might find something to do. They want you to do the bounties, to get the
they
gear. You know what I'm saying?
and that's the thing. If the vendor is on the planet, it gives you a reason to go to that planet. If you don't have a
Right.
vendor on that planet, it's like, okay, I'm just, whatever. So I get it. You know what I mean? I could see if they had maybe pretty much like I think they did it right. But I understand what your point is, definitely. So it's a good
Yeah.
thing.
I
And
mean, you're gonna have people that say that, but I just had to bring it up because that is a convenience that they're offering as far as the store, which is cool because this is now at least 25%, 50%, maybe 75% of their money for the future is going to come from this kind of stuff here.
right.
And also, on a related but separate note, I don't know if you saw the video recently. They've been talking about getting their publishing arm up and going, and they've also been talking about getting another Bungie game out because the next Destiny is due out in 2025, I think.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody will be playing by then, but I'm just saying uh, they also want to have some more IPs or games that they put out
Okay.
in the manner that they're doing Destiny. So just keep your eyes open. They're gonna probably talk about something soon.
All right. Cool. So the other thing I want to talk about is in your actual character menu. Uh, I do like the little touch that they made with having your sparrow behind you, so you can kind of see it. Uh, so that's cool. That's a cool little touch. Um, like I was saying earlier, until you get the 900, you might as well not even really worry about infusing anything. But if you notice, you see all these different character attributes that weren't there before. You got mobility was always there, resilience and recovery. That's always been in D2, but they brought back from D1 the discipline, the intellect, and the strength. So basically,
Which didn't leave Axe technically, did it?
well, it did because it wasn't visible. So it wasn't
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? Now we can actually see it and manipulate it. And actually in D1, that was the thing that made my warlock the truth. Was the way I manipulated my discipline, my intellect, and my strength based on my character's build and what I like to do. So just let me run down real quick for you because I'm quite sure everybody that's been playing D2, they're already you know, familiar with what the top three mean, but the discipline is the cooldown time of your grenades, allowing you to use more often, which is, who don't want more grenades. The intellect is the cooldown of your super ability, and the strength is the cooldown of your melee ability. So if you can figure out a way to set these fairly high, of course, and it tells you right there. My grenades right now, I'm at 5, almost 6, and it's got the grenade cooldown at 59 seconds. So every 59 seconds I'm gonna get a grenade back. So if you time that right, or if you get that high enough, I'm quite sure like on D1 I think my grenades was coming back like every 25 seconds, and you know what I'm saying, I was running warlock with the with the with the resurrection and the fusion grenade, and I had the thing where I could throw 2 grenades. Oh my god, come on, son! And then oh my, you already know where I'm going. Like, it's almost
Right,
infinite
right.
grenades. You know what I'm saying? If you know how to manipulate that. So I'm glad that they brought these stats back. And really the one that I'm the most concerned about is the grenade ability, because to me cooldowns kind of I mean supers kind of come fast, like not necessarily fast, but they come at a good enough rate anyway. But if you get your super ability, you can get your super back. It's at 2 right now. It's saying that my super comes back at every 5 minutes and 43 seconds. So look, what a crucible game is 2 minutes.
That's
I mean,
well
10
depends on
minutes, 15
Depends
minutes
on what
maybe,
you're playing.
depending on
15
what you're
minutes, so
playing.
you get your super
So
twice.
you can get your super twice, maybe even 3 times, and depending on how you get that cooldown, you can get that.
And
You
just
definitely
think,
can get it. You know what I'm saying?
if you
Fast.
run super mods with that setup, you will probably get 3, maybe 4 supers if you're really lucky
Right.
in a game.
True. So then last one, the strength, the melee ability. And then you can see mine's on 1. I get my melee back every minute and 33 seconds. So you figure if I got that up to 10, I'm probably going to have that down to 20 seconds. I'm going to get a melee back. Just saying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, it's not going to be, you're not, in Destiny 1, it was impossible to get all of them up to 10. You're going to have to really pick and choose how you use those, along with your recovery and resilience and mobility, to have your character build doing the things that you want. And I feel like with the way it was beginning initially in D2, it didn't really seem like it made a difference, but with them instilling these new menus the way that they have them, hopefully it'll make a difference in the aspect of, okay, if I boost up my resilience, I can tell that it's harder for me to die. If I boost up my mobility, I can tell that I'm really hauling ass. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that this really does make a difference. And since I've showed everybody those things, now we'll look at the armor sets, and you can see how you can go into the details, and you can sit there and you can boost up your thing. You can upgrade it with your different mods and sockets. I haven't gotten into this yet, but you can see how it, how this kind of works. And I guess you put the empty mod socket. So I got a mod socket already, and then you can have another one, I suppose. That's the way that, yeah, there we go. So I got some mods: boss resistance, major resistance, minor resistance, solar resistance. So I can add that to the armor, and now I'll have that 1 point of solar resistance. So we'll be exploring how these mod systems work a little bit further in the future, but hopefully they really do make it where it's like, okay, I can sit here and customize my character build the way I want, because it hasn't really felt like I've been able to really build a character on here up to this point. How do you feel about that? You think you have?
No. No. I've always said from the beginning that so far they've failed on the promise of why I even bought Destiny. It's supposed to be
A 10-year game,
an RPG,
RPG based, RPG based shooter.
Right.
Lore.
Not a looter shooter with RPG elements. That's what we ended up with, a looter shooter. And like they're doing it now. You can tell by the way the perks are set up on the armor. Now when you highlight the armor, you can see mobility, resilience, all this. This is more RPG style. Now I would like to see, and this is just wishful thinking, I would like to see some gun customization. Yeah. Maybe not to the exotics, because I know they build them to spec, how they want them. But maybe some of these other guns, maybe we can change some scopes. We can get some, because actually playing that Ghost Recon beta, just the customization that they have in that game was ridiculous.
Right, and that's true. And then you got to look at even the Modern Warfare. The Modern Warfare beta. They've got a nice customization system in their game too, as far as like you can switch out scopes, you can do different things, you can put the muzzle brake on it or whatever. So I agree with you on that. It'd be nice to see some things like that.
Half-ass shooter. Like,
I'd like to see some things like that.
All the way shooter pretty much the whole way.
And just to
don't take us halfway on the weapons.
Just to be a little fair to them, you do have some customization options, but you don't have many. Like I can't fix a different scope on this gun. It is what it is, but I can have like the small bore or the arrowhead brake on the barrel or the lightweight mag or whatever, but all this is random. And with other shooters, it's not random. I can put whatever I want on whatever gun. Well, as long as it makes sense to that gun anyway, but you can do what you want to the gun. So I understand that is something that they do need to bring into the fold. The last thing that I want to touch on before I get out of here, already over time a little bit, but last thing I want to talk about is the new finishers. So I didn't get a chance to do the finisher last night because I just wasn't really catching it. But when you have that little dot over the enemy's head, you can press R3 and it'll do the finisher to them. And every character has their own little unique finishing move, like you just seen my hunter do that little blade carnival spin thingy thing. I guess that's cool. I haven't used it yet, but it's in the game. I'm too busy shooting to be thinking about doing it. Our one buddy Mike Nice, he was saying that it's happening like all the time to him. He's not trying to do it. I think he might be pressing his R3 stick in on accident and not knowing. But
yeah, I think that is too. And it might just be the way he plays. Some people are real rough with the
right. I play with the Astro C40, so I got paddles on the back and I run with the paddles and stuff like that, so I'm not really pressing it on my sticks as that hurts my hands after extended amounts of time. But yeah, the new finisher, you know what I'm saying? I haven't tried it. Have you tried it, Demise? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I've tried it. I think it's cool. You have to be very wary of when you use it because everybody that's shooting at you is still shooting at you while you doing Kung Fu out there.
Okay.
But
so there's no overshield while you're doing this. There's none of that Mortal Kombat 11 overshield.
Nah, you're not invincible.
Where they can hit you and you'll get through that to get the hit off and kill that guy and keep going. Alright, well that's cool. So I think that's about it for us.
I find them enjoyable and refreshing. I think that after a good stiff melee and then you lay them out with the kick or whatever you got, I think that's cool.
Right, I think it's cool too. I'm gonna try it out right now. And it's time for me to get into the game. So I do appreciate all you guys for watching. Please leave a comment below if you enjoyed this video or something I missed you want to talk about or just want to talk about the video in general. Leave a comment below. I always appreciate it and I like to talk. And please subscribe if you never subscribed already. Till the next time, peace.